Today, we look at some music festivals that you've just got to attend. Check it. If you're in the music scene like I am, then at some point or another you've went to a music festival where it's not just one or two bands on the bill, but it's like a whole day event, or sometimes multiple days. Best example, shows like Warped Tour and Ozfest. Now this list is primarily for my US friends. I'll start doing these out of the United States ones once you UK buds start paying for me to go to Slam Dunk or something. These shows are spread out all throughout the United States. Some of them have a ton of history behind them, while others are fairly new to the game and have a promising future, as well as being just as exciting and fun as their other music festival predecessors. So without further ado, let's check them out. The South by Southwest Festival. For 9 whole days in March. It's not that the South by Southwest Festival takes over Austin, Texas, it becomes Austin, Texas. With a combination of music, art, interactives, panels, comedy, and movies with more than enough to control your attention span. Let's put it this way, you could skip media for the entire year, come to Austin for a week, and still come out ahead on pop culture and music. The show began way back in 1986, and it continued to get bigger and bigger every year. With everyone from John Mayer performing to Johnny Cash being a key speaker, it's definitely a must-see at least once in your life. Musink. Travis Barker's Musink, presented by K-Rock, has been going on for the last 12 years as of the recording of this video, every year in Los Angeles, California. The premier festival brings together the best in music, tattoos, and cars. What more can one love? The event features hundreds of the world's greatest tattoo artists, with bands like Hatebreed, Limp Bizkit, Suicidal Tendencies, and the Dead Kennedys, just to name a few, playing this year alone. The show also features daily tattoo contests, a vendor village, a gigantic car show, and the presentation of Miss Musink, a competition brought to you by Sullen at one of the world's biggest gatherings of tattoo artists. Like I said, the show's been going on for 12 years and it seems to be getting stronger and bigger every year. It's another one you gotta check out, especially if you're into cars and tattoos. Back to the Beach Fest. The second annual Back to the Beach Fest has definitely kicked things up a notch since its first year, which was on last year, in 2018. The show has been brought to you by the dynamic duo of John Feldman from Goldfinger and Travis Barker from Blink-182, all presented by K-Rock. It's a 2-day festival with bands from all genres. Last year's was primarily like a ska/punk rock event, with this year's acts including Blink-182 and The Used to headline, with bands The Story So Far, Real Big Fish, Streetlight Manifesto, Anthony Green, The Wonder Years, and a ton more scheduled to play. It's also an all-ages event, which features a ton of fun in and out of the sun and in and out of the mosh pits for people of all ages. With a kid-friendly atmosphere, hosting a little punk kid zone, an inclusive little place for kids 10 and under, who are accompanied by an adult, obviously, which features a ton of little interactive things for kids to do on the beach while you dip your toes in the water, have a drink, and watch the bands on 2 giant jumbotrons. The show will also feature a carnival-style atmosphere, with cool prizes including VIP upgrades and a bunch more stuff. If you're out in the LA area or feel like flying, Huntington Beach, California, this April. Welcome to Rockville. Welcome to Rockville plows into Jacksonville, Florida every spring with an insane rock and metal lineup. During that weekend, more than 50,000 fans show up for non-stop music with 45 bands and over 4 stages. With this year's lineup including Korn, Tool, Rob Zombie, The Interrupters, and Flogging Molly, just to name a few. Sonic Temple Fest, or Sonic Temple. America's largest rock festival, tears through the Midwest every May, in what's considered one of the most metal cities, Columbus, Ohio. 60 bands across the span of 3 whole days makes this a definite must-stop for fans of rock and metal music. With a lineup like System of a Down, Disturbed, the Foo Fighters, Bring Me the Horizon, Joan Jett, The Distillers, Boston Manor, and Parkway Drive, just to name a few, Ohio is definitely the place to be in the middle of May. Rocklahoma. If you're looking for a contemplative weekend, full of drum solos and mellow campfires, then Rocklahoma is definitely your worst damn nightmare. The only thing more legendary than Rocklahoma's festival itself are the campground after-party ragers, which are kind of like a huge fraternity party in campers. This year's lineup includes Ozzy Osbourne, Asking Alexandria, Steel Panther, and Beartooth, among a ton of other rock and metal bands. If you don't know what the Oklahoma stands for, it's in Oklahoma. The show's in Oklahoma. Yeah. Bonnaroo. Over the last decade, no other U.S. music fest has encapsulated the spirit of giant gatherings in an open grassy field quite like the Bonnaroo Festival. Except, well, maybe Woodstock. Guess it's like Woodstock's little brother. I don't know. Bonnaroo burst onto the scene around a decade ago, grabbing up-and-coming bands as well as seasoned veterans, as we all watched it grow from this small kind of music festival into this behemoth that it's become. Even though it's not one of the oldest festivals, it definitely captures the spirit of the quintessential American music fest, with past acts including 21 Pilots, Billy Joel, and this year featuring Post Malone, Cardi B, Fish, and the Lumineers, among a ton of others. Summerfest. The annual music fest is held in the 75-acre Henry Mayer Festival Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The festival lasts 11 days with 11 stages, with performances from over 800 acts and 1,000 performers. Since the mid-1970s, the show has run from the last week of June to the first week of July, usually always landing on the 4th of July holiday weekend. Summerfest attracts anywhere from 800,000 to 1 million people every year, promoting itself as the world's largest music festival, even being certified by the Guinness Book of World Records, and has held that record since 1999. Past acts include everyone from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Rolling Stones, A Day to Remember, and Linkin Park, to this year featuring Ozzy Osbourne, Megadeth, Jason Aldean, and Zac Brown Band. If you want to be a part of history, head on to Wisconsin this summer. Firefly Fest. No, it's not Firefest, it's Firefly Fest. Don't want to confuse that. You won't be stuck on a deserted island with just cheese and bread. Anyway, within a few short years, the Firefly Fest has definitely become an addition to anybody's East Coast summer calendar. Set in the woodlands of Dover International Speedway in Delaware, Firefly has 7 stages with over 100 performers every year. With this year's performances including Panic at the Disco, Post Malone, Death Cab for Cutie, and Tyler the Creator, among a ton of others. Lollapalooza. If you're into loud music, getting messy, probably real dirty, sleeping in a camper, maybe on the ground, and getting real drunk, then Lollapalooza is definitely the place for you. From the insane vision of Perry Farrell, who reinvented the light bulb of American music festivals, stuck his landmark in Chicago, Illinois. Though in the latter years, taking the tour on the road to South America and Europe. The blend of a carnival-style atmosphere, camping, as well as a ton of bands make this a must-see if you're anywhere in the United States. This year's lineup include The Weeknd, Billie Eilish, Jack Mars, fucking asshole, Jack White, Bruno Mars, among a ton of others. The Vans Warped Tour. Over the last 2 decades, the Vans Warped Tour has hyped itself up to be the must-go-to music festival during the summer for rock and plain music lovers alike. Since its start in 1995, the show has been a platform for well-established as well as up-and-coming acts, with alumni including Sublime, No Doubt, Beck, Katy Perry, Eminem, NoFX, Bad Religion, Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, and, well, I mean, there's so many others. Warped Tour founder Kevin Lyman announced in 2018 that Warped Tour's last cross-country venture would be that year. But just when you thought the party was over, Kevin announced 3 dates for the 25th anniversary of the tour. While the announcement was made that the cross-country run was on indefinite hiatus, an announcement was made that the Warped Tour would continue on with the Warped Tour experience intact, but on a much larger scale. 2 full whole days, 50+ bands across multiple stages, extreme sports ranging from skateboarding to motocross, and an exhibit of the arts that shows the tour's history. The show will be on 3 separate dates, with the first being in Cleveland, Ohio in June at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the second landing in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the end of June, and the last in Mountain View, California during the last week of July. If you've ever went to Warped Tour or have ever wanted to go to Warped Tour, now more than ever is your chance to go. Riot Fest, also known as the Riot Fest and Carnival, is a multi-day festival that specializes in rock, punk, alternative rock, and hip-hop alike. The Chicago tour is best known for booking reunions of bands, guest performances, as well as full-blown album performances by bands. The show first started as a multi-venue festival in 2005 in Chicago, but has since expanded to Denver and Toronto. The majority of the bands that play the fest are pretty much on the punk spectrum, with punk rock, pop punk, new wave, and hardcore being primarily dominated during the festival. Past acts include 9 Inch Nails, Rise Against, Blink-182, The Cure, Wu-Tang Clan, and a ton more. Last but not least, Woodstock. The pioneers of the modern day rock festival, Woodstock has been a staple in almost every 60s and 70s reference. The music festival was originally held at a dairy farm in the northwest part of New York City between August 15th and 18th in 1969, which attracted an audience without any advertisement of over 400,000 people, with the most iconic performances of Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. Later years, like 1994's, have brought on the iconic mudslide, mud fight during Green Day's performance, as well as acts Bob Dylan and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The show came back in 1999 with performances from The Offspring, James Brown, Metallica, and Dave Matthews Band. Founder Mike Lang announced on January 9th, 2019 that Woodstock will return to New York City for its 50th anniversary. The 3 days of peace and music will take place on August 16th through 18th, 2019. Hey guys, now that we're at the end of the video, thank you for commenting, and subscribing. You can check out daily blogs on the poppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad official merch shop where you can buy cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on SoundCloud and iTunes now. Please subscribe. While you're at it, cruise around and check out other content on this channel. You can check out all my social medias, my IG, my FB, and my Twitter, at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.